Judaism need to be about keeping these commandments.
This is not what I expected out of them. The true Bible, the book of our fathers.
Right. The Most High has given us guidance on what we need to do.
Officer Eli.
Officer not showing.
Officer Yikiel.
Board of Education is an academic holocaust. The Board of Education is an academic holocaust. All right, brothers, sisters, let's settle down. Say shalom to the brothers and to the sisters and to those of you online. Pray that y'all made it through the snowstorm. I see that y'all did. I'm glad you did. Today's topic, we're going to deal with the Board of Education is an academic holocaust. The Board of Education is an academic holocaust. That's what we're going to discuss today. New York City is about to get a new school chancellor. Many people are concerned about it. To me, it makes no difference who he or she is. It may be someone named, what was her name? Damn. What's the lady's name? It's either my old lady. No, it's an old lady. She's 70 years old. I can't remember her name. All right, the structure of the United States educational system, its curriculum, its content, its standards were developed by middle-aged white supremacists. I'm going to say it again. The structure of the United States educational system, its curriculum, its content, standards were developed by middle-aged white supremacists. Their teachers, their school administration, their educational experts, they will all have their foundation in white supremacy. I'm going to show you, I'm going to open up with an article. All right, this is under the American Thinker. This was September 10th of this year. We're not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to read from this top. The Racist Propaganda Conference for Teachers. Listen good. For those of you that really entrust your children into the United States school system. It says from April 13th to April 16th, the Lakesville School District in Minnesota is sending its teachers to the 12th annual White Privilege Conference. Yes, it is as bad as it sounds. To quote the article, the conference is built on the premise that the United States was started by white people for white people. Its mission is to get participants to confront their biases and a journey in understanding white supremacy, whiteness, privilege, power, and oppression. And to agree, see, this is an article. Y'all really got to read the news, see what's happening out there. And to agree to take action in their own circle of power. That means white folks. At workshops, participants will discuss how white privilege, white supremacy, and oppression affects daily life. This seems pretty straightforward. The premise is that all white people are bad. I wonder why this isn't called the Racist Propaganda Conference instead. Of course, they would never admit that that is what they are doing. Leftists never do. They would just claim that they are just trying to make people aware of differences. So I want to end it there. Go back, pull out so we can see the article. Go back. Now, I'm going to show you one of the side effects of that. I want to go to the next article with the Native American Indian. This is the family here. This is the family, husband and wife, 4 kids and a dog. They're Native Americans. I forgot what tribe they're from. Let's read down. Okay, Jean Eagle Bull, that's their name, Oxendine, and James Oxendine are shown here with their 4 children, Jace Masty, 5, Jada Sitch, 7, Jake, 13, Kasky, 15. After taking a stand against their children's school stereotype-laden Thanksgiving curriculum, the family says Jada's scholarship was revoked as retribution. School officials deny this. Now let's read the article. Family stands against school's racist Thanksgiving curriculum. Now, y'all know here in New York, every year we got to take our kids out of school because they have this Thanksgiving celebration. A lot of you don't see that as racist. It is racism. It is all based on white supremacy. It says, the Oxendine family have long valued how Montessori schools educated their 4 children, especially with Montessori's stated principles of inclusiveness and compassion. They were, thus, thrilled when their youngest children, Jada, 7, and Jace, 5, received scholarships in 2012 to the Maria Montessori School in San Diego due to their family's Native American and military backgrounds. But now, the Oxendines say an ongoing conflict over the school's problematic, now canceled Thanksgiving curriculum has led to the revoking of Jada's scholarship, something school officials deny. Go up. Okay. Red flags were raised in early November 2012. This is last year. I mean, 2 years ago. This is 2014. Yeah, year before last. All right. Red flags were raised in early November of 2012 when they learned the school was planning Thanksgiving classroom activities, encouraging students to dance around teepees, dress up as Indians with headbands of multicolored feathers, and give each other Indian names. Whenever we go back to the Pine Ridge Reservation where my wife is from, the children are surrounded by ceremonies and dances. They're taught feathers are sacred and only for ceremonies, said James Oxendine, Lumbee, an information systems officer in the United States Navy, and it was confusing for them to see the school doing it differently and perpetuating stereotypes in this way. Woo-woo! You know, they're going around, woo-woo! All of that. Some of y'all did it. I know I did it. After receiving a newsletter describing the week of potentially offensive activities, his wife, Jean Eagle Bull Oxendine, Oglala Sue, decided to try to engage the school in creating a culturally appropriate curriculum. What followed is in dispute. School officials say they immediately ended the curriculum and have tried to cooperate with the Oxendines. But the Oxendines say the school resisted ending their Thanksgiving tradition. I believe that one. The school resisted ending their Thanksgiving tradition and told them to keep their kids at home, because that's what they tell me. So I believe that one. Told them to keep their kids at home rather than change the curriculum and eventually revoke their daughter's scholarship to be rid of their complaints. They said they were doing these activities to honor us, Native Americans, but then they wanted us to stay home while they were honoring us, said Eagle Bull Oxendine. The family has posted a Change.org petition demanding the school issue an apology, reinstate their daughter's scholarship, and implement the National Museum of the American Indians holiday curriculum. Dina Stoneman, co-director of the school, said the petition is misleading for many reasons, including that it makes readers think the school is still conducting the same Thanksgiving curriculum this year. It saddens us that they're using this platform for personal gain when they should be using it to promote Native American rights and how to correctly teach about Native Americans, Stoneman said. She described the rich curriculum as being developed to teach students about how many different Native American tribes have lived in the past and now in the present day. Once they learned the use of the feathers were offensive, they dropped the curriculum and invited Eagle Bull Oxendine to do a presentation and even start a diversity committee, Stoneman said. Stoneman also said the Oxendines disenrolled their daughter when she couldn't guarantee them that no children would wear their headbands with feathers to school. Now you see that? So in other words, they can't, listen, some kids might do it anyway. Because you know white folks, they don't give a damn what our people think. Stoneman also said that the Oxendines disenrolled their daughter when she couldn't guarantee them that no children would wear their headbands with feathers to school. The scholarship money had already been allocated to another student when the Oxendines tried to re-enroll her, she said. See, now all that's a lie. I know that's a lie. I know white folks. They lie. This year, Stoneman said they are asking students and families to celebrate at home because they have the week off. The Oxendines, however, say the school continued with the curriculum last year, but only announced its cancellation this year. So see, more lies. Eagle Bull Oxendine said when she tried to raise the issue with the directors of the school, she was told students would be too disappointed if they weren't allowed to have their Thanksgiving traditions. Let's translate. What does that mean? Well, who is she talking about? White folks, white kids, and their parents. We need, all of us, we need, from state to state, need to pull our kids out on them holidays. All of them. Just pull our kids out. Get our own schools. Where my is? The Oxendines, however, say the school continued with the curriculum last year and only announced its cancellation this year. Eagle Bull Oxendine said when she tried to raise the issue with the directors of the school, she was told students would be too disappointed if they weren't allowed to have their Thanksgiving tradition. And that, you know what? Dumb black kids, too. They be in there, well, we just thanking God for, you know, the dumb black parents. I just want to thank God for, black people make dumb stuff up. We hear y'all on the street. It says, then when she tried to approach the parent liaison about the issue, she was told her children would be disenrolled if she continued to raise the issue. In other words, you better calm down, nigga. You better calm yourself down. The Oxendines said they made a quick decision to try to enroll Jada in public school, fearing she would miss the rest of the term if she was kicked out of Maria Montessori. They changed their mind a couple of days later and were shocked to learn their daughter's scholarship had so quickly been given to another student. You go through a lot of emotions, Eagle Bull Oxendine said. Rosa Parks didn't stop riding the bus because she didn't have the front seat. Our daughter has every right to attend on that scholarship. Currently, Jada is being homeschooled, her parents said, and she has suffered some psychological effects from what happened. This, you know why? Because she believed all white people was nice. Their son is still at Maria Montessori, and the Oxendines say they have been impressed with his teacher. Their main issue is with the school's administration, they say. We want to raise awareness that no classroom activity should make a mockery of our culture. Eagle Bull Oxendine said, we're doing this for Jada, but we're also doing it for all Native children. So now people posted their comments up. All right. Now, what I want to show y'all is a video clip. Now, the video is about a black, I don't even know if she's black, but a little girl got beat up by cops. The little girl has diabetes, but that is not the focal point of what I want y'all to pay attention to. I want y'all to listen to what he says about the schools. Everybody with me so far? I need y'all to pay attention. A lot of y'all who are young, you're going to have kids soon. Y'all, what we're going over, be aware of this.
From Alternate, diabetic high school girl beaten by police officer and arrested for falling asleep in class. Yeah. How the hell does this happen? And what does this say about the racist policies of our government when it takes on the system of government-run education centers, or public schools as they're euphemistically referred to when they're really just, conditioning and propaganda centers?
Stop. You heard what he said, called schools? Conditioning propaganda centers. He called school, now this is so-called Jew, Amalek, that's Amalek. He calls the school system, what did he say? Conditioning propaganda centers. Now you gotta ask yourself, why do I find that striking? Because these people do not send their kids to what we call our schools. And you always wonder why do they separate their kids from where our kids go because they know that the public school system is nothing but conditioning propaganda centers.
While she was reading Huckleberry Finn, she dozed off. Come on, it's a good book, but when you force a kid to read something that they're not, engaged in and wanting to learn, it's going to be boring.
Who knows about, I had to read Huckleberry Finn. Huckleberry Finn was written by who? Mark Twain. That is a racist Edomite. All you read the word nigger all through the book. What was his best friend's name? Nigger. Was it Tom Sawyer? Huck Finn and Tom Sawyer, it's all racist. That's why at the beginning of the lesson, when I said what I said, I know what I'm talking about. The whole school system is based on white supremacy.
It's gonna be really hard to inspire real intellectual engagement. This is why unschooling or self-guided learning is so superior to this. And when you understand that, and you understand what the education racket really represents, you see why there's an incentive for the government to take over education, not just because it's one of the planks of the Communist Manifesto, but because they want to keep you from being free on your own to prosper as an individual, as an entrepreneur of your own life. They want you to be a good little wage slave. They want to prepare you for that life as a propagandized citizen.
He's letting you know that the school system was not created for our kids to become entrepreneurs. It's for you to be in a damn, a factory. You come off the factory line and you're meant just to uphold the system. Go play it back.
It's gonna be really hard to inspire real intellectual engagement. This is why unschooling or self-guided learning is so superior to this. And when you understand that, and you understand what the education racket really represents, you see why there's an incentive for the government to take over education, not just because it's one of the planks of the Communist Manifesto, but because they want to keep you from being free on your own to prosper as an individual, as an entrepreneur of your own life. They want you to be a good little wage slave. They want to prepare you for that life as a propagandized citizen. They want you to be dead. They want you to sit in cemetery row seating. That's what they call it. They want to kill that which is most essential to human life, the exercise of your will.
Oh, yeah.
Pause it. Wait.
This is why your kids come out dumb. All these kids here that go to these schools, our kids dumb as hell. They cannot measure up to the white kids in private school or these other schools. I'm sorry, mothers. That's the reality of it. That's what the devil himself is letting you know. These kids are ill prepared for life. Every last one of them, even including mine.
Do y'all hear the words that's being said by this man? This man is saying something like enrolled cemeteries. He's saying stuff like propaganda centers. He's saying a lot of stuff. He is saying a lot of stuff. I believe it's going over a lot of people's heads.
Yeah.
I really don't think that a lot of people are catching what's being said up here.
The key word is conditioning.
Right.
That's the key word that we're leaving out. It's conditioning. School is conditioning now.
When you look at when it comes to business and so forth, Amalek, all right, they young kids is the ones that lead in heart surgery, that lead in, get their own business set up and so forth, and we are the ones that go and work for them. Yep. They are the ones that making most of the money. That's real brilliant. And this one, he got this one, this Jake that think he's a Hamite. Some of you probably saw the video where he said, listen, the so-called Jewish people is being blessed. That's God blessing them because they own in the business and they own all the wealth and all of that. But it's not the Most High blessing them. It's because they got an advantage over us. Right. All right. They got an advantage over us when it comes to education and so forth. So that's what it is.
One of the main points that I'm picking up from all of this is the reason why we are oblivious to all of this stuff that's going on is because we have allowed someone else to define who we are. In other words, when he speaks about his people are not getting caught up in this. Why? Because they make their own image of themselves. Other people, they make their own image of themselves. We depend on others to tell us how we should be. You follow me? That's where the conditioning comes in. And we're not even cognizant of that.
Activists have long decried the, quote, school-to-prison pipeline, which disproportionately affects communities of color. Now, it's not just the school-to-prison pipeline. And it's certainly true that it conditions you, institutionalizes you to be comfortable in such an environment or to see that as normal. But even if it's not school to prison, it's school to the prison that is the average American life of being a boring wage slave. I mean, you want to sit at home, live your boring bitch life, fine, you know? But if you ever want to step up and ask, how did I get here? Maybe looking back at how you were conditioned as a high school student when you were doing the government's bidding every single day might offer some clues.
It did go
That
there.
stuff went over. That stuff went over. Could you play
School to prison pipeline? Conditioning people of color, meaning blacks, and because he says it later on, he specifies blacks and Latinos go from school to prison. He said that's what schools prepare you for. And to be a wage slave means that minimum wage that the vast majority of our people are under.
In other words, when you put the finishing touches on these major universities, your business school of business and all of that, and you've laid it out, none of you go into business. None of you do anything for your people. The majority of us go right back and join the wage force, just like if anybody else. That's the point I make. When you look at, I'll give an example. Here's what points to it perfectly. Hold it. Let me show you what points to it perfectly. When you have black folk in America, just black people. I ain't even hit the other tribes yet. Just black folk. Black folk. $1 trillion being spent outside of the black community. $1 trillion. That is some amazing money that's being spent. And out of all of that money that's being spent, not any of it is reciprocated to build an infrastructure to take care of our homeless, to take care of the people, to take care of the sick, the mentally insane, to put up hospitals, schools, all kinds of things. Our minds are not even focused in that area. That's showing you that our thinking has been perfectly guided to exactly what this man is saying. And I remember listening to a radio talk show. This was about 20 some odd years ago. And it's amazing. I talk about something 20 some odd years ago, and it's still relevant today. I remember I was listening to, what's this guy named? Bob Law. He used to run this program called Night Talk, AM radio, I think 16 something on the AM dial. And he was talking about that there was Harvard University was celebrating their 150th year of what they call shaping America. That's the word they use, shaping America. They understood clearly that the function and the goal of an educational system is to shape how one thinks. No matter what you were when you came in, when you leave, you would be a quote-unquote Harvard graduate. You would have a Harvard mentality, world mentality. You forget about what you were when you went in. Our job is to shape your mind to do what we want you to do. That's what I'm hearing of here. 25 years later, I'm hearing the same stuff. That went over a lot of people's head. I know they didn't get it. Go ahead, Aitan.
I'm going to say that blacks spend $1.1 trillion a year. They were saying within 3 to 5 years, it'd be 1.5 for blacks. Hispanics spend 1.2 trillion, because there's more of you, of course. $1.2 trillion a year. In 3 years, it'll be $1.7 trillion. So they're already doing estimates. They already know you're going to spend more, because they already know that your minds have been trained, if they want you to spend more money. So they already have estimates already. So together, combined, we spend $2.3 trillion together in this economy. $2.3 trillion, like Yasop was saying. Now, no part of it is reciprocated at all amongst ourselves. At all.
Let's go to the book of Luke, chapter 16. Luke 16. We've read this many times before. Now we're going to put it in perspective on this subject matter.
The book of Luke, chapter 16, verse 19.
Now, I want y'all to pay close attention to this.
There was a certain rich man, which was clothed in purple and fine linen, and fared sumptuously every day.
So now this rich man is an Israelite man doing the bidding of Rome. Now you got to bring all what we're reading, you got to bring it up to today. You have many black and Latin leaders who's doing the bidding of America. They become rich, and well off in society. Why? Because they're following America's protocol, just like this man followed Rome's protocol. Read.
And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate.
Now
full of sores.
this beggar Lazarus represents the mass of Israel. Right, what that Edomite said, the wage slave earners. Right. The masses of Israel who are the poor, the down and out. That's who Lazarus represents of the Israelites. Go ahead.
And desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table.
Now he wanted to be fed with the crumbs that fell from the rich man's table. Everything, remember, everything the rich man had on his table was given from Rome. So likewise, the rich man today, our black leaders, Latin leaders, the crumbs that we're getting, one crumb is named, well, let's see who's thinking. I need some thinking brothers up in here. You with the scarf on your neck. What's your name, brother? Ezra. Give me some crumbs. Can crumbs really sustain anybody? So it's not really talking about literal crumbs. It's talking about other things socially. You're on.
I would say food stamps, welfare, some of the public schools.
Some?
All.
See? All the public schools that we're under. So welfare, all the things that fall under the social, help me out with some words.
Social structure.
Yes. Social services, the infrastructure. Those are the crumbs that we're getting. And it's not meant to really sustain you with any real living. Like we think, like what we got out here is crumbs. We think this is living. This is not living.
We've been conditioned into believing that this is living.
Yeah, you got a TV, you might have a car, maybe a house. You think that's living. When you sit down, you talk to some white people that go, yeah, where's your summer house at? Summer house.
You lost.
Summer house.
You were like, wow, I wonder what it's like to have a summer house.
A summer house. What do you mean a summer house? Yeah, when it gets winter, we all flat out our summer house when it's cold. Okay, well, what's that? What about you got your, when it's summertime you ride with your car top down, the convertible? No, I ain't got that. I got really one car. Well, one car, you got two maybe? Oh, well, we got several. 7 even. What about your helicopter? You take a helicopter to school? What? Take a helicopter. What? You got a yacht. Where you go? You got people that come teach your children at home, tutors at home. What? And we like, we can't hang with them. Some of y'all deceive yourself into thinking you can, but you can't.
I'm gonna go a step further, Elder. Listen to this. How many of us can say that we can go into our own land, go among our own financial institutions, our own government, our own military? Y'all follow what I'm saying? Spending our own currency, looking at the faces on the money and your faces on the money.
Right.
Could you imagine how that would feel? We can't even fathom that kind of thinking.
We can't.
And that's a reality for some people. Some people have no idea what it's like to live like us. They can't even imagine this. If they even got close to it, they would commit suicide. Like when they had the Depression in the 29, they just lost some money. And they were jumping out of windows.
Hey, what did the Quaker Oats man, George Bush Sr.'s wife, say? Remember when she went to...
yeah, the thing on, what was the name of that? When the levees broke. Exactly. To show you how out of touch these people are with the reality that we live in. Here the people in New Orleans, when they had that flood, they were being... Where they had to go live in the Astrodome, right?
Right.
They had to go... They left their homes, so-called homes, left their houses, and had to live in the Astrodome. The president's mama... they flying over it and they looking at the little Negroes down there. They say, you know what? They're so much better off.
No, she was there.
She was there.
They took a
tour, right?
A tour through there.
She said they are so much better off. Look at it. I can't even imagine she said that. That shows you the total disconnect and contempt. Thank you, brother. I couldn't even get the words out. The total disrespect and contempt that she has for black people.
Exactly.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Now,
their reality is not our reality.
It's not. Back to Luke. What, Ithon, you got your thought together now?
Yes. All right. You had the the politicians, like Elder was saying earlier, and the celebrities. Them also, a lot of rappers. They have the same thing. They have the crumbs also, but they call them crumbs. Video models, diamonds and gold, platinum. That's crumbs too.
Right,
And they're used as instruments to make us envy them, and they envy the white man.
Exactly.
They're in belt the white man, so those are the rich men also. They fall in that same category, and we get the crumbs. We buy their album. We buy their albums. We go to their shows, their tours. They make millions of dollars on tours. And all the people in there saying, "Hey, over," they making minimum wage slaves.
Right.
Spend all their money trying to buy their sneakers, buy their albums, buy their clothes, like that dude, that young brother. Was that Barney's? Jay-Z did a business deal with Barney's. I'm not sure what that kind of store it is. But basically, he wanted to sell his merchandise there. A young black boy bought a belt from there. The belt was how much the belt? Like $300 for a belt. A sister spent $2,500 on a purse. That's the crumbs. She's a wage slave. I guarantee she's a wage slave. There we go right there. And they're blasting them, saying you from the hood just like us, and you won't cut your ties with them. He's saying I gotta dig into the matter. I have to investigate more. What's to investigate? They called the cops on the boy for buying a belt. They fought him outside the store. They thought he stole it because the store called them. The cops don't blame us. Blame the store because the store called us. What you blaming us for? So I'm giving you an example of how that dude is he's like banging America right now. Those two are bedmates. Because he's like, I'm not getting up my business with them.
Exactly.
And you got people from Brooklyn who go to Barney saying, why don't you cut your ties with them? He will not do it. He will not do it. Because he's that rich man.
Right, he's that rich man. And America does that. They pull certain key blacks and Latinos up and allow them to make a lot of money. But they're still not on that. When you rich, when you can murder people and get away with it. Yeah. That's when you know you rich. The Lord can't touch you. Back to Luke 16 and 19. Pay close attention.
There was a certain rich man, which was clothed in purple and fine linen, and fared sumptuously every day.
So this rich man are the high society bourgeois Negroes amongst us. That's who the rich man represents. Go ahead.
And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus.
The beggar represents the masses of our people.
Which
have repented. Go ahead.
Which was laid at his gate full of sores.
Laid at his gate every day full of sores. Those are our sins. Go ahead.
And desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table.
The crumbs represent the social services we get here in society. The education we get is a crumb. The wages we earn are crumbs. The foods we eat are crumbs. The housing we get is crumbs. Section 8 is crumbs. Everything we got here is crumbs.
Why is it that the Bible is using the word crumb? Because I heard the elder explained it earlier. I want to see if y'all really understand what's coming out. Why is it using the term crumb? And he explained it. I heard him explain it. So I'm going to see if y'all listening.
Because we can't survive off it. It's like
exactly. You cannot survive off of a crumb. So in the case of the educational system, the educational system is a crumb compared to really being fed. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? So in other words, does the educational system prepare you to go build your nation up? No. That's the point.
Exactly. So again, like we said earlier, the Board of Ed is based upon white supremacy. Let's examine the curriculum. A lot of these kids are in school. They're in school. Let's talk about the curriculum in school a second. We're going to get back to the scriptures in a moment. I just need y'all to bear with me a second. In school, when we're young, we learn about Charles Darwin. Y'all familiar with that guy? He lived between 1809 and 1882. He wrote The Origin of Species, the evolutionary, that people come from monkeys. Okay, that's one thing we learn about, which teaches us to go against the Most High. Okay, then you learn about maybe what's his name? Johann Friedrich Blumenbach. He's the Edomite that created the concept of five species of men. He said you got the Caucasian, Mongoloid, Negroid, Indian, and Malaysian. He divided the world into 5 groups of people. Then you got, in school they teach our kids about the founding fathers. You got George Washington, the first. Nobody knows who he is? Yeah. First president, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, Benjamin Franklin. You don't have to write this down because I ain't gonna remember these people. Damn demons. Samuel Adams. You might learn about, briefly in some class, you learn about Alexander Dumas, the writer who wrote The Three Musketeers. But he's black. But in school they'll teach us that he's white. Three Musketeers, D'Artagnan, and everyone's fighting. Those are all black men when you read the book, blacks. But in school, that's how I'm telling you, the school system is based upon white supremacy. Like we said earlier about Huckleberry Finn, Tom Sawyer, written by Mark Twain. Then, last but not least, you learn about Cristobal Columbus, the most racist, murderous, genocidal maniac that ever lived. You don't believe it, because y'all think about you think Hitler. No, Columbus was 12 times worse. Y'all don't understand. That dude murdered and enslaved millions from island to island. Him, Ponce de Leon, help me out here, Cortez. You know why? Because y'all hear the word, Columbus and the conquistadors. And the Negroes think that conquistadors is some fashionista word. What does it mean? Conquerors. These are demons. Oh, conquistadores. Yeah, that sounds so fashionable. They are the devil, the Bible speaks of. It's all racist. And we let's honor. Why don't nobody do a holiday for Adolf Hitler? Or you'll see how society get quiet then. But they'll do a celebration for Christopher Columbus. And of all the Latinos and their dumb behinds, and some of you blacks too, on a float waving your flag. I got to learn Spanish. You stupid as hell. That's all racism, and our people don't think. That's why, like with Thanksgiving, I'm glad this one family stood up. How many of our people stand up for that? Here go the black woman. I'm just thankful I got a new pair of shoes, so I just want to thank God. Look, I got a table full of food. That's what I thank God about. You stupid black woman. It's a racist holiday about the murder, robbery, and destruction of our people. I don't know nothing about that.
All right. Inside Columbus's log. Are y'all listening? Inside Columbus's log, he has somewhere written where he speaks about gold. He said, gold is the most precious of all commodities, and he who possesses it possesses all that a man could ever want. So that's the reason why they honor Columbus Day. They tell you about whatever foolishness they tell you about on TV and all that, but the real deal is they believe in his philosophy. His philosophy is about taking all of the earth's resources for yourself, and you deal with the other people according to how you want them in order for them to survive. Because just like we were talking about the end of poverty, the southern one, even the rain, all of that is the philosophy of Christopher Columbus. If you own all of the resources that people need, that means they'll have to go through high water and all kind of things just to get a little something. That's how these people think. That's the reason why their educational system reflects that. Right. Every nuance of educating medium in this society reflects that philosophy. Our people don't really understand what I'm talking about when I say that. Everything that this society is about reflects that mentality, reflects that philosophy.
Did I fail to mention that the founding fathers were all slave owners? I forgot to mention that thing. George Washington, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, Ben Franklin, Samuel Adams, they all owned our people as slaves. But we glorify them. They're the founding fathers. I just love them. You dumb as hell. Then, give me Isaiah 32. Give me Isaiah 32. Go ahead, Isaiah 32.
I don't know how much of you all watch. You got a show called Liberty Kids or something like that. They tried to show Benjamin Franklin and these four founding fathers as heroes, as they was trying to abolish slavery and they was kind to the slaves. You understand? One time I saw my daughter watching that crap. I'm like, yo, turn that station. Don't watch that. You understand? Because in these little cartoons that they putting up, that's also how they educate our kids and destroy our kids.
Right.
All right?
They go, the founding father said, behold, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Then you got Negroes jumping up. But meanwhile, there's amendments that says, no, a Negro's property, 3/5 of a man. That didn't include you, dummy. But here you go. You got these coons out there. Watch this. Give me what I say, get?
Isaiah 32.
Isaiah 32. Get me, what verse I want?
5.
Yeah, there you go. Come on.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 32 and verse 5. The vile person shall be no more called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful.
So the vile person is called liberals. Who set up the school system? The liberals. Who introduced multicultural education? The liberals. The Bible says the vile person. The vile person, what? Shall no more be called liberal. Go ahead.
For the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity.
Because what the liberals has done with the school system, it's all based upon white supremacy. That's what y'all have to understand. It is not for our benefit. We graduate with the little stupid cap and gown. What's the music then? I don't even know the song.
Pomp and circumstance.
How does it go? Dun, 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 dun. I don't know. Yeah. You know that dumb song. Oh, yeah, that's it. Do it.
Dun, 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 dun.
And the mothers are going, oh, my baby, look at my baby. Your baby has graduated to be a wage slave earner. Your baby is dumb as hell, mama. What you got like that? Go ahead.
This is George Washington.
No. You got to repeat what you said because there was an audio glitch. I know they didn't hear what you just opened up with. They did not hear that.
George Washington?
That's right. Read that again.
This is President George Washington's statement about Negroes.
Where are you reading from? Well, let's put it up online.
It's a book. It's a state statement. It says presidents. I'll find it. It says shipped the slaves to the West Indies in exchange.
You said shipped?
Shipped the slaves to the West Indies in exchange for some rum and sundries. U.S. President George Washington, in a letter addressed to Captain John Thompson on July 2nd, 1766, he sold a slave named Tom for liquor. He says, I advance as a suspicion. Yeah. I advance as a suspicion only that the blacks are inferior to whites, both in body and mind. Never yet could I find that a black had uttered a thought above the level of a plain narration, ever saw an elementary tract of painting or sculpture. Thomas Jefferson, I have no purpose to introduce political and social equality between the white and black races. That I am not, nor ever have been in favor of making voters or jurors of Negroes, nor of qualifying them to hold office, nor to intermarry with white people. And I will say in addition to this, that there is a physical difference between the two which, in my judgment, will probably forever forbid their living together upon the footing of a perfect equality. And inasmuch as it becomes a necessity that there must be a difference, I am in favor of the race to which I belong having a superior position. Abraham Lincoln, Negro's favorite. Not as the Negroes, I entirely agree with you that as a race and in a mass, they are altogether inferior to the whites. Theodore Roosevelt. It was the administration of Woodrow Wilson, however, which took the most drastic action against Negroes. It was in Wilson's administration and with his express approval, sorry, it's faded here, approval that federal civil service workers were segregated by race in their employment with separate eating and toilet facilities. When a Negro leader protested his segregation, Wilson, that's it. That's all I got.
So let me ask this question. Is there really a such thing as integration in the society?
No. That's what we're reading right here.
Exactly. Because a lot of people really think that we have been, quote unquote, integrated. And I'm saying this to everybody. Because a lot of people don't know the meaning of words, Elder. That's what the problem is. The word integration. When you think about integration, you're taking two entities and you're bringing those two entities into one. That's what integration means. In other words, if you're talking about integrating two different people together, that means both have things that are pertinent to them that they're bringing to the table together to form something new. You understand? If you got to, in other words, you want to, let me see, let's say Chinese and, because I don't want to use us. Let's say Chinese people and Arabs. Let's say you want to bring those two people together. Well, the Chinese people have things that are pertinent to them. They'll bring themselves onto the table of integration with the Arabs. The Arabs are going to come and they have things that are pertinent to them. And they bring their things to the table of integration. When you finish with that mixing pot, both elements, the result has both things that are pertinent to each in that new mixture of people. Now, how does that correlate with us today? What did we bring to the table that is still here? Nothing. We don't have any land. We don't have our own. We don't have nothing. We have essentially become white people with black bodies. That's what we have become. We have lost everything that pertains to us. We have been assimilated, so you can understand. We have totally forgotten about who we are, and we have completely taken the mindset of the people that we call ourselves integrating with.
Okay, Zakai, where we at now?
We at Isaiah 32 and verse 6.
Come on.
For the vile person will speak villainy.
Villainy refers to evil. Go ahead.
And his heart will work iniquity.
His heart will work sin. Go ahead.
To practice hypocrisy.
Because the whole school system is hypocrisy. This whole society is hypocrisy. Like Deacon y'all was just talking about, what was integration? Y'all say, many of y'all think if people ask you, are we integrated? You'd go, yes, we're not integrated. I got sad news for you. Can somebody tell a woman that we're not really integrated with white society? Because she thinks we are.
Of course she thinks we are.
We're not integrated. I'm giving it, like Deacon y'all also gave good examples. Now, at some level, when you, like in Kentucky, you got to go to Kentucky, the only ones who are integrated with blacks and Latinos are, I got to say it, poor white trash.
Yes.
And they're only socially integrated. Now, when you go to the schools and public schools, guess what? Those whites that are integrated with us, poor white trash. That's what they are. To be totally integrated, like y'all brought a good example, you got to bring something to the table. Here we go. Once the emancipation, no, let me go up ahead of that. Let me go further past. When integration, Martin, what's his name? Martin Luther King and all that, wanted to be, the civil rights movement wanted to be integrated. Medgar Evers and all of them. To be integrated, not only are you integrated like you'd have black, white, so forth and so on. That goes when you go home. Where you live would be black, white. But guess what? To be totally integrated also would mean you are economically integrated, which we are not. Because all the monies that whites made through the rape, robbery, hold Isaiah, get me Jeremiah. You know what I want? Is it 22? You know what I want? Zakai?
22:13.
Okay, Jeremiah 22:13. Get that for us.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 22.
I want everybody to get it so nobody think I made this up. I need y'all to read along with us. Jeremiah 22 and 13. Listen good. Now, this is for you. We're all integrated. Watch this. Go ahead.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 22 and verse 13. Woe unto him that buildeth his house by unrighteousness.
This whole house of America has been built by unrighteousness. Read.
And his chambers by wrong.
And his homes and houses by wrong. Go ahead.
That useth his neighbor's service without wages.
That uses his neighbor's service without wages. Come on.
And giveth him not for his work.
The Bible says that's iniquity. That's a sin. To be totally integrated, all that was made in this society has to be given back to us. The white man will never do that. You have banks say, oh, we apologize for having our hand in slavery. That's not true. They're not apologetic. Right. Because if I steal $5 from you and I say, I'm sorry, what should I do? Give it back. What has white society given back to us? Nothing but bad education and jail. So what kind of apology is it really? Now go back to Isaiah 32. This is why the Bible says this. Isaiah 32, what verse is it?
Verse 6.
Verse 6.
For the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity, to practice hypocrisy.
To practice hypocrisy. It's hypocritical to steal from a nation, apologize for it, then give them nothing in return. That's hypocrisy. That's evil. Go ahead.
And to utter error against the Lord.
And to utter error against the Lord, because the entire school system utters error against the Lord. Go ahead.
To make empty the soul of the hungry.
Because we go to school, we're hungry, but it's making us more empty. The little bit of God understanding we got is removed from us when we enter the school system. Go ahead.
And he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail.
Right. Whatever drink we had coming to us, it fails. Come on.
The instruments also of the churl are evil.
The instruments of the word churl there means rude. Meaning what? They're rude, they're devilish. What are the instruments that they have that are evil? Their politics, their political democracy, republicanism, independent, conservative, that's all evil. Then you got the religious instruments, Baptist, Pentecostal, Mormon, Anglican, Seventh-day Adventist, Jehovah's Witness. That's all evil. Then you got the school system, public school. Those are instruments that are evil. Read that again, Zakai.
The instruments also of the churl are evil.
All their instruments are evil. Whether it's political, religious, economic, it's all evil. Because we always end up getting the short end of the stick. We never, as a mass of people, come out on top. Never, ever, ever. Come on.
He deviseth wicked devices.
So this is God speaking. The Bible's letting you know that the ruling kingdom in the last days would devise what?
Wicked devices.
Wicked devices. They are very crafty. Come on.
To destroy the poor.
To what?
To destroy the poor.
So what you thought was for our benefit, the Bible says it's to destroy us. Like many of you think welfare is for our benefit. Oh, welfare was always for our destruction, to divide the home. The little families we managed to hold together have been divided because of welfare. You want welfare, you want the government to support you, black woman, Latin woman, get rid of that man. You cannot have a man in the house. Okay. Now we've gotten so accustomed to that, when a woman gets a man and he leaves, she's confused. Why? Because it's second nature now. Why I got to stick around for? You got welfare, I can't be around. So read it again, Zakai.
To destroy the poor with lying words.
Right. What did you say? You said legalizing weed. You got dumb blacks and Latinos talking about hip, hip, hooray. That's a trap. Because now amongst the jobs, they're going to say mandatory job testing for blacks and Latinos. And we're going to it ain't going to be the piss in a cup, because you can fool that. Cut his hair. Because that hair goes back 2 years. Our people are just simple as hell. The drugs that we have used holds in your hair for 2 years. Oh, the white man legalized marijuana. Yeah, you a big dummy. You don't see the trap in that? The little jobs we got now, them little wage earners you got, you ain't gonna have that in the future. It's gonna be war.
And just because you shave your hair don't mean he can't get the hair. He'll go to your leg. He get the hair from anywhere because it's all the same.
On my job, they did that. Dude came in bald head. They said, well, you got eyebrow. He shaved all his pubic hair off. They said the only hair he had was eyebrows. They said, guess what? We taking them eyebrows. That's what you ain't getting away. They had one dude bend over and spread them. They said, there's hair somewhere, and we gonna get it. This whole thing, legalizing weed, is a legal trap. A legal trap to get you out of school. Not that that's a bad thing anyway, but they're trying to get us down and out, destitute of all humanity. They're justified by kicking us out of schools and keeping us off certain jobs, all the jobs, including McDonald's. You watch. Don't say you never heard it. Don't say you was confused and didn't know as you puffing on a blunt, you dummy. Zakai, where you at?
Verse 7.
Come on.
To destroy the poor with lying words.
See that? To destroy the poor with lying words. All these words, that's why they use big words. Black people don't know what they're talking about. I think he said something for our benefit. Yeah, he did. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's why they use them words.
What does the scriptures mean when it says to destroy the poor? Because some people actually think it's talking about being put to death. Because our people don't understand that we are destroyed.
Right.
You know, when I sit here and I think about how they pay these athletes millions of dollars to run up and down the court, up and down the gridiron, throwing the pointed ball over the tee and all that. Football. When I think about how they pay him all kinds of money to do that mess, they'll give him money because he doesn't know what to do with the money. When I compare that to our people spending $1 trillion, they don't have a problem with that. As a matter of fact, they encourage us to do more, spend more, give the Negroes more money so that we can get it back. That's the same thing they do with these ball players, the same thing. Why? Because we don't have enough sense to take that money and use it to build up right where we are. We don't know how to do that. So we are already destroyed. You are destroyed when you have no land, when you pass no laws, when you govern nothing. You are a destroyed people. Do you realize that those are the essentials that make a people? You have to have your own land.
But you know what? Some black people and Latin people think they're okay because they say, well, I got a job that makes $100,000. That's $100,000 job is different than $100,000 of wealth. Two different things, because the $100,000 in wealth is invested in other things that's always going to be turning over. But the black and Latin man that makes $100,000, you're living check to check. There's a big difference between wealth and a job. Two different things. Who's Laba? You gonna say somebody?
Yeah, I'm gonna pick up on exactly what the elder said. Even though the one who make $100,000, there was a special done. They'll still have the same bank account of poor people who have, because they spend crazy. And then there was also a special. Sometime when the Bible said these people are evil, there's a white woman who do a special. You remember? I don't know if you pay attention. She put blue eyes people, black eyes people.
Yeah, was what was this woman's name? Oh man, I forget the name. That was a heavy point that you're making out.
Yeah,
I can't think of that woman's name.
Then the white woman come with the whole conclusion, say white people was born evil. That's what the white woman said. It's saying they was born racist. It says in their gene. You understand? Their own people notice that. You understand? These men, the so-called white people, when you examine them, they can do nothing good. I'm telling you. That device they create among us, then you will think this to help us. But it's always a trap. It's to our people. It's to our people, not the other nation. Open your doors looking at the college. Who you seeing them? White people. So when the white society pushed the billion they sent out here, you understand, they're not sending it to you. So they're justified saying, you see, we give you a job. But even though they give you a job, how you spend the money foolishly, so you can never say that they didn't look out for you. Because they don't put nothing in our community to help us to substance the money they're giving us. You understand? So they're justified when they say, we give you a job. Look at $100,000 job. You have this black have a job. You have this. But you fail to understand all white, young white girl, young black, young white men, they already stand by for the money. They're already in a standby for the money.
The elder was saying, you have people
Jane Elliott, that's her name. Jane Elliott.
People who are rich. Basketball players are rich. The white man that own the team is wealthy.
Right.
Wealth is passed on from child to child. Our forefathers, they passed their wealth on from child to child.
You're talking about the Bible forefathers.
The Bible, our forefathers, right, not the devil, of course. Our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob passed their wealth on to their family.
Right.
You understand? King David passed his wealth on to Solomon. All right? So what I'm saying is that the white man, they're wealthy. Black folks who are rich, that can go any day. White folks get wealth, that money is passed on for child to child. They own roads.
Right. And you know where that wealth, who can remember where the white people's wealth come from? Slavery. That's why they got a term called old money. Meaning from slavery times. Back in the days of rape, robbery, and murder. That's where that old money comes from. Yes, Abiel.
This is an article that someone had posted on Facebook. This is a gentleman by the name of Damon Dash. He said he overheard a Jewish businessman called black people liquid money. And it says right here, Damon Dash says a Jewish man calls black people liquid money because we give it all away. In a recent article, Dash quoted a colleague saying, "We call you, black people, liquid money. The same way that water falls out of a man's hands, money typically seeps out of a black person's hands the same way. Your community gets money and immediately it gives it all away to the people who aren't black. We see that as a huge business opportunity. Examples used. Black people on payday or when they get our tax refunds. He noted blacks to an Indian business, Indian meaning East Indian, business to cash the check, an Asian hair salon, a corner store owned by Arabs, or a department store owned by whites. When it's all said and done, these other business people are waiting like hungry animals to eat blacks' bank accounts as if they are the prey.
That's the reason why they could get the bank loans, because they tell the banker inside. They say, "Well, how do you expect to pay us the bank back?" They said, "Well, I'm going to open up business in the nigga neighborhood."
Right.
They say, "I'm going to get the money back and then some." Oh, well, here's $1 billion. Go open it up.
You know,
they know he's going to get his money back. Go ahead, Elder.
Let's go. I forgot to read on in Luke 16. We just read an article about Damon Dash, about how these other nations come in and wait for us to have our payday because we're going to spend our money on them. Look what Christ said here in Luke 16. Zakai, read that again.
The book of Luke, chapter 16, verse 19. There was a certain rich man, which was clothed in purple and fine linen, and fared sumptuously every day.
So this rich man, as we know, represents blacks and Latinos, the Israelites that work for Rome, who are well paid and they're in that rich level. Go ahead.
And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus.
The beggar represents the Israelites that were repentant in Christ. That's who Lazarus represents, the repentant Israelite, among which is our people. Go ahead.
Which was laid at his gate, full of sores.
Full of sores, meaning our sins.
And desiring to be fed.
Social problems that we go through. Go ahead and do what?
And desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table.
So the crumbs are these various social services, whether it's political, religious, economic, school, educational. These, we get the crumbs of society, the lowest part, the worst. Go ahead.
Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores.
Moreover, the dogs came. Abiel, I want you to go right back to that article. Go right back. We're going to read about the dogs came with Damon Dash. Damon Dash. Now, the bottom part, where is that? Example used. We're going to read about the dogs came. It says example used. Black people on payday or when they get our tax refunds, he noted blacks to an East Indian business to cash the check. So an East Indian man cashes your check, meaning you got to pay him to cash your check. There's a fee for that. An Asian hair salon, because the black and Latin woman runs to the Chinese woman to get their hair done. A corner store owned by Arabs and or a department store owned by whites. When it's all said and done, these other business people are waiting like hungry animals. Dogs. Dogs. Go back to Luke now. Read that again, Zakai.
Luke 16:21. And desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores.
Moreover, the dogs came, and whatever we had, the dogs sucked it out of us. They licked it from us. So whatever little bit we get in society, here come the other nations. That's what it's talking about. I'm going to show you that the dogs is talking about the nations. Give me that in Exodus. Exodus 11:7. Because some of y'all right now talking, no, you got that Christian mindset, think the dogs is talking about dogs. Right. It's talking about nations of people.
Right. The book of Exodus, chapter 11 and verse 7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue, against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Lord doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
So in that verse, who do the dogs represent in that verse? The Egyptians. Nations. That's what it's talking about. It's calling them dogs. Right. Let's get that. Matthew 15 and 27. Thank you.
The book of Matthew, chapter 15 and verse 27. And she said, truth, Lord. Yet the dogs.
Start at 26.
Verse 26. But he answered and said, it is not meet to take the children's bread and cast it to dogs.
So Christ said it's not good. The children's bread is this. The Bible, Christ's healing power. This is the children's bread because this was only given to the Israelites. He said it's not good to take the children's bread and cast it to who? Read on.
And she said, Truth, Lord. Yet the dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from their master's table.
So this white woman, because it's a white woman, she said, can I get a little crumb? Please. And when you read it, said she was begging him. And he said, all right, for this saying, the devil's cast out of your daughter.
For this saying that she's a dog.
Right.
And you know what it's also show? When we got our kingdom set up, that the heathens, they going to eat of the crumbs. The same way we eating these crumbs in this society, in the same way the heathens, they going to eat of our crumbs.
That's right.
You understand? When the kingdom is set up.
Exactly.
Yeah, our people don't believe that thing. That's why I say our people have not been taught the Bible at all. They hear stuff coming out of this Bible and they cannot believe that this is the Bible.
Right. Exactly. Go back to Isaiah 32, Zakai. What verse you was at?
Verse 7.
Now, last week in Chicago, a sister got so mad at the class, they said, she walked out. That made me rejoice. I said, dang. She said, I can't take it. They always bashing a woman. And I'm thinking about the class. I said, we went over like 16 personality types. I don't think all them personalities we was talking about women on all of them. Some of them we did, some of them was men. So I said, here's something else. But guess what? If the sister's online, we coming for you right now. Come on.
All right, verse 7 again. Isaiah chapter 32, verse 7. The instruments also of the churl are evil.
So the instruments. When y'all breaking this down on the street, you got to break down their instruments. The things that are used in social society today. Politics is an instrument. Educational system is an instrument. Religion is an instrument. Economics is an instrument. Okay, read.
Wait, hold on, I'm sorry. In order to properly break that down, you have to think about, like the elders bringing out these instruments that are used to destroy our people. You have to first know what your people need.
Right.
Our people need a kingdom. Our people need a homeland. Our people need their own government. Our people need their own structure, their own monetary system, their own military. They need those. Our people need those. Those things are essential for any nation. So when you think about what our people do not have, then you can examine those instruments, because all of those instruments that we're going over, none of those instruments help you get any of those things that I just mentioned. Can I get a witness? Are any of these instruments vital in us getting our land? No. Is it about getting our own military? No. Our own infrastructure? No. Our own currency? No. Will it allow us to pass laws among ourselves to govern civility among us? No.
Exactly. Read on, Zakai. What verse you at?
Still in verse 7. He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words.
Right, like Planned Parenthood. They said that's good for our good. No, that's to destroy us. That's to destroy us, to shut down our numbers, cut down our numbers. They said we're too numerous. Go ahead.
Even when the needy speaketh right.
Even when we speak right things, they will come with some crafty stuff against us. Read.
But the liberal deviseth liberal things, and by liberal things shall he stand.
This society is quote-unquote a liberal society. That's what they stand on. They have us as wage slaves, wage slave owners, makers. They have us with the least education. That's how that society keeps going. Watch this.
Rise up, ye women that are at ease.
Now, why is he talking to the woman? He says, rise up, you women that are at ease. Because women are at ease in the American society. Right. I don't see nothing wrong with what's going on. And you brothers that listen to women, you dumb as hell. The same way Adam listened to Eve, God said, I'm going to jack you up for listening to her. Tell you, I made you. You listening to her. She don't know nothing. You got the, what's wrong with society? Can't we all? No, we all can't get along. Not while we on the bottom, no. Read that again.
Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters.
Now he calls them careless. Women are careless, God says. Oh, the sister last week said, I can't take the Bible, it's male chauvinistic. Well, good riddance and drop dead. Where you get that term from male chauvinist? She got that from the where? The feminist movement. That's another instrument. Here in the 60s, you had the many black revolutionary, Latino revolutionary group rise up. The white man said, hey, listen, white woman. Not that he's the white woman, I'm using this now. Listen, white woman, you're going to take your funky behind up in there. Stir stuff up. So the white woman said, I'm going to go in there with some new stuff, some feminist stuff. She went up in there, said to the black woman, look, black woman, you don't need to listen to this black man over here. Look, Latin woman, you don't need to listen to this black man. Women are strong. We can do it ourselves. And the woman separates from her husband and goes, women power, yeah! And destroyed everything.
The black woman separated from her husband, but the white woman did not separate from her husband.
Thank you.
Because when the white man told her what to do, she said, yes, I'll do that.
Right. I'm going to give you an example.
Because she's in league with him.
Right. Look at Beyonce's latest, I think she put up on iTunes, I think it is. Huh? They got a physical copy now? Well, I forgot the name of the album. I forgot what it is. But when they interviewed her, she said the backbone to this album was that women can do what they want. Women are powerful. It was that whole feminist bullcrap. I'm listening. I said, this sounds like stuff from, and Beyonce, when you listen to her, she's not the smartest sister in the world. You could tell by the words she used, the way she says them. I'm like, where is she getting this from? About women rule and we're so powerful. I said, this is bull crap. She wouldn't have got where she's at if it wasn't for who? Think? Who gave up their job and used all their money for her? Nobody knows? Her daddy. Her black big lip daddy. The man gave up his career for her. And here she go, women, we are so powerful. Like, shut up. Yeah, she did. When she got to the point of power, alleged, she got rid of her daddy. Thank you. She said, nigga, I don't need you no more. Right. That's that whole feminist thing, there's a white woman in her ear somewhere. And I pray, now, don't think we're saying this stuff out of hatred, because we love Beyonce, her father, all our people. Our prayer is that they all repent and we can come together, that 1/3 of Israel. Zekiah, where you at?
Verse 9.
Come on.
Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women. For the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come.
So God is getting on the woman. Now, that's why I said there's many scriptures he gets directly on the woman. You sisters might not want to hear it. We don't give a damn. We're going to tell you what God says. The only women that's going to be saved out of this destruction are those that humble down and say, yes, Lord, this is me. Yes. Them others, arms crossed and folded, I don't want to hear that. They're going to die. Some of your wives going to die. Some of your daughters going to die. Don't be shocked. Because they're going to read stuff like this and go, I don't like that. Why? Because she's been watching CNN or one of these all these news, what is it?
Yeah,
scandal, all that crap.
Headquarters has been set up in her head.
Right. So the Bible calls them careless and women that are at ease because they're at ease on welfare in society, not realizing that has destroyed her family. We're going to talk about raising kids in a moment. Now, multicultural, the liberals set up multiculturalism. I'm going to show you multiculturalism. Let's read it. Go back, Abiel. This one right here. Blow it up big. Put the article. I want the article up there. This is mathematics because some of y'all in here, we got a brother that's a math teacher. That's good. All praise to the Most High. We need to know how to count. So the liberals said black people need to learn how to count. Latin people need to learn how to count. We're going to help them count. Watch what they did. It says, this is New York now. New York School assigns racist word problems to 4th graders. Go down. Look at the picture. Go down. Look at the picture. Today, in advice we didn't think would ever require repeating. Teachers, it is never a good idea to use dead slaves as units of measurement in your math problems. On Thursday, New York One revealed the story of a New York public school that has been doling out some incredibly unorthodox homework. When a 4th grade teacher asked student teacher Aziza Harding to make copies of the worksheets, Harding was stunned to see it was a slavery word problems homework assignment. The word problems included the question, in a slave ship, there could only be 3,799 slaves. One day the slaves took over the ship. 1,897 are dead. How many slaves are alive? And one slave got whipped 5 times a day. How many times did he get whipped in a month? 31 days. Another slave got whipped 9 times a day. How many times did he get whipped in a month? How many times did the 2 slaves get whipped together in 1 month? See, this is some madness here. I ain't want to even read no more. This is just madness. Go ahead. This is straight up madness.
It's madness on one level, but on another level.
Wait, y'all, what's up? Before you say it, remember at the beginning of the class they had the first article I showed y'all about white supremacy. Now y'all might have thought it was only out there in the West, out in the South. That's here in New York too. These white teachers have their meetings and they go out in the South and meet and bring this. This is the evidence that these people come back with that madness. Go ahead, y'all.
Who brought this article out? I don't mean us in here. I mean, who's the editor behind this? Who brought this to light? Who went and exposed it? That's my question.
Mary Elizabeth Williams, but it said New York One reported it.
Okay, New York One reported it.
Right.
Let me think about what I want to say about this. They brought that out because they knew that was going to cause an adverse reaction. Our people were going to light up and go crazy over that particular article. Are not they trying to take slavery out of the schools?
Mm-hmm.
I thought, can I get a witness?
Folks, now it's time for my perspective. It is stunning to the degree some people will go to totally rewrite history because they really don't like how it turned out. So what is happening in Tennessee right now? You have some Tea Party groups in Tennessee, and you know what they want to do? They actually want to literally remove slavery from textbooks. Some of them are saying, well, let's augment it. Let's actually show that some African Americans owned slaves. It wasn't just whites actually owned slaves. And so they want to really change or rewrite history. What's also crazy in this whole piece is they say, well, they also are critical of people who criticize the founding fathers for having slaves. These are honorable men. It's a fact. Many of them owned slaves. So therefore, how do you want to now change a fact? We can't be quiet when these things happen. We saw what happened in Texas when conservatives began to change the laws in the books. If liberals try it, we go after them as well. Bottom line is, don't be silent and wait for it to be passed and then you get upset. Challenge every change now and hold people accountable. That's my perspective. What is yours?
They're trying to take slavery out of the schools.
Or change it.
By them using this right here stops that. This right here goes against them trying to take it out. Now I'm not justifying what they did, but I'm making a point that by them mentioning slaves and slave ships and all of that, that's keeping that thing going. You follow me? So it's a double-edged sword on this thing. On one instant, they want to get rid of it, and on another instant, they want to keep it.
But I'm going to tell you why they use it, y'all. Why do they use it, and why did she see fit to use it? This is in case any black child gets any spirit to become more than they are meant to be. That reading will humble them down. And the kids will go, you was a slave. Or imagine how that black child feels in school with the other kids of other nations. You was whipped 5 times. My daddy whipped your daddy 5 times a day. You know how little kids do. They ain't right. They're wrong.
That is correct. That is correct. That is 100% correct. Which goes to something else that I want to bring up. But go ahead,
Jonah. You had your hand up.
I got a quick question. I'm trying to connect the dots here, and they're trying to get us to remove slavery out of schools by doing that.
No, they want to romanticize slavery. I saw the article. Right. They want to make it seem like we were indentured servants, and the slaves got wages and they didn't get whipped or any of that. That's what they're trying to do. Now, what were you gonna say?
Right. To go to the point that the elder's making about how it creates an inferiority complex with us, because that's the backlash that you're going to get from reading that kind of material. That's the point about what was being used in the classroom. They say, how dare you bring out these kinds of things and use this as a learning tool when you're just embarrassing and shaming us and reminding us of what happened to us in slavery. I understand that part of it. I do understand that part of it. I'll save our part for later because I don't want to bring it in just right now. Continue, Elder.
No. So now you'll get people that'll say, what's wrong with a multicultural, what's the word? Curriculum. Thank you. A multicultural curriculum. There's something wrong with it. When you have a curriculum dictated by white supremacists, where do blacks end up in a multicultural curriculum? On the bottom. So there is something wrong with it. Go to Daniel 2 and 36. Daniel 2. Multicultural. And it sounds like it's all inclusive. Oh no. Because 95%, because that's what we get, they call it multiculturalism. 95% of what we're learning is white supremacy. The other 3, 4, and 5% you learn about Chinese, East Indian, maybe, blacks or Latinos. That's the last 5%. That's not all inclusive. And none of these black and Latin teachers, we're going to talk about y'all. Not you, Solomon. You on the side. But we're going to get on you black teachers and you Latin teachers. We're going to get on y'all. Where we at?
Daniel 2:36.
Yeah. Now, let me set it up for y'all. This is the dream that King Nebuchadnezzar had about the last days. He could not understand what the dream meant. Abiel, pull up a picture of the Daniel's the dream, the statue. Okay, this is Nebuchadnezzar's dream. This is what we're about to read in Daniel 2. We're getting to the interpretation of the dream. Daniel chapter 2 and verse 36. Let's start there.
Right. The book of Daniel chapter 2 and verse 36. This is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king. Thou, O king, art a king of kings, for the God of heaven hath given thee a kingdom, power, and strength, and glory. And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of heaven hath he given into thine hand, and hath made thee ruler over them all. Thou art this head of gold.
So now look at the painting. The head of gold, remember, it was made into 4 different categories. You had the head was made of gold. The arms were made of, what was it? Silver. Then you had the midsection of bronze. The legs of iron. And the feet were made of iron and clay. So now go back to the top, Abiel. So the head of gold represented the Babylonian Empire. Everybody understand that, right? Now you might ask yourself, what does this have to do with today's class? As we read down, you shall see how this plays in vitally. Read on.
And after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee. And another.
Stop. The next kingdom was the Medo-Persian Empire, represented the silver. Everybody see that? Write that down. The silver in 538 BC represented the Persians and the Mede Empire, Medo-Persian Empire. Okay, everybody got that? Read on.
And another third kingdom of brass.
And now the third kingdom of brass represented Alexander and the Greeks of 333 BC. That was the brass. Everybody there? Read on.
Which shall bear rule over all the earth.
So the white man, which came as the Greeks, because they conquered Japhet, they conquered the whole earth. You can read about that in 1 Maccabees chapter 1. Read on.
And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron.
Now the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron. That was Rome in 63 BC, excuse me, 63 BC. Go ahead.
For as much as iron breaketh in pieces, and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise.
So Rome destroyed everybody right behind the Greeks, because Rome didn't conquer the Greeks. Rome absorbed the Greek. That's why many books call it the Greco-Roman Empire, because they were the same people. Go ahead.
And whereas thou sawest the feet and
now
toes.
Now it gets to the feet. The feet represents these last days under America, because America is an extension of ancient Rome, of the Greco-Roman Empire. Listen good to what I'm saying. America represents the feet. Read it again.
And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes.
Notice it says feet and toes. How many toes are there?
10.
10. When you read Revelation 13, it talks about the 10 horns. That's the 10 common markers, also called the EU. Write this down. The European Union represents the toes in Daniel 2. Represents the 10 horns in Revelation 13, Revelation 17. Revelation 12. Okay? The 10 horns in Revelation are the same 10 toes of Daniel 2. Everybody with me? Read again.
And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron.
So part of potter's clay. Listen good. This last kingdom is part of potter's clay and part of iron. Go ahead.
The kingdom shall be divided.
The kingdom shall be divided. Come on.
But there shall be in it of the strength of the iron.
There shall be in it the strength of the iron, because remember, Rome had a powerful army. Guess what? America has a powerful military also. But watch this. Keep going.
For as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay, and as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken.
So it's partly strong and partly weak. This kingdom. He's going to explain what he means by that. Go ahead.
And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men.
So he's explaining what the iron and the clay represents. Mixing themselves with the seed of men. That's this integration everybody keep talking about. Oh, we all can get together and mingle. That's why they call America the great melting pot. Read it again, Zakai.
And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. But they shall not cleave one to another.
But what? Read that again.
But they shall not cleave one to another.
That's why there's always problems socially. Black against white, white against black, them against the Latinos. There's always something. The Bible has prophesied in these last days, this last kingdom shall be partly strong and partly weak. It shall be made of iron and clay. And he explains what that clay is. When you got other nations trying to appease, like Obama's in office, everybody was, oh, there's a man of color, he's black. Him trying to appease, it's impossible to appease all nations here. Somebody's going to get the short end of the stick. And guess who it always is? Our people. We always get asked out. Excuse my language. Read that again, Zakai.
But they shall not cleave one to another.
The Bible prophesies all these nations shall not cleave one to another. It don't matter if you marry them. Well, who remembers during, what was that last hurricane in, not Katrina. Sandy, remember the black woman married the white man and had 2 boys. She ran for help to the white people. Help me, my boys is trapped in the car. What do white people do? Slam the door. Boom. And cut the lights off, make like they ain't home. Her 2 boys died drowned in a river. And she's all confused. I married a white man. Why didn't white people help me? Because the Bible has prophesied, Zakai, one more again.
But they shall not cleave one to another.
That's the prophecy. If you're trying to fight that prophecy, you're fighting God.
Right.
You're on the wrong end of the stick, and your arms are too short to fight with God, to box with God. He said the nation shall not cleave one to another. Here you go. You want to fight against that. So when we bring it out, you want to say, oh, we're racist. Believe me, we're far from it. But we are going to tell you the truth. We are going to tell you what thus saith the Lord, whether you like it or not.
Right.
Was that it, Zakai?
No.
Go ahead.
Even as iron is not mixed with clay.
Even as iron is not mixed with clay, the nation shall not mix one with another. That's why when you move into a home, they have something called, what is it called? Social steering. Y'all know what that's talking about? Where you're a black man, you want to live in a certain community, they steer you to where black people live. Or if you're Puerto Rican, they try to steer you to where Latinos live. That's why, like in Flushing, there's a large community of East Indians. How do y'all live over there? Because there's something called social steering. They steer you to where they want you to go and tell you this area might not be too good for you. Why? Because they know certain things about the people in those areas. You might want to live over here. But I don't want to live over there. I want to live over here while we're telling you what you need.
We the only team don't play games. Championship rings, need champagne. Babylon can't stop this campaign. Rampage, guess I know why the heathen rage. Cause the guys be bringing it out. This kingdom, we bringing it down. Lost sheep, we'd have been found. Wait until we get a crown. Crown talk, yeah, this that crown talk. Nehemiah don't want to be like Nino Brown now. Cause this that king talk. Real life king talk. Like Solomon, I see things clearly like a greenhouse. The wordplay can't get colorful. The scriptures cutting you the butter too. Not to mention we a living legend. Don't know what to do when a myth is standing right in front of you. You better watch.
Fear them not, therefore, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed.
There's nothing covered that shall not be revealed. Like Seneca Village, remember Central Park? How they destroyed all the black village. All that information is coming out. Lake Lanier, the Tulsa riots, Devil's Punch Bowl. There's many, hundreds of black communities underwater, decimated. So that Christ said there's nothing covered that shall not be uncovered. Come on.
And hid that shall not be known.
And hid that shall not be known. Like the economic collapse in Venezuela caused by the United States, man-made COVID-19, even the damn Taliban and Boko Haram. Remember Obama said America would not help Nigeria unless they accept same-sex marriage. And everybody talking about the Taliban, talking about, oh, look, the poor girls, they can't read. Women's rights, it has nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that. America, from the time of the Bush administration, have been building a huge gas pipeline, okay, to fuel 22% of the gas resources from Turkestan, Pakistan, through Afghanistan, all those stands around there, through the Indian Ocean. This is why when they deployed, they left Afghanistan and they left all that equipment back. Tanks, firearms, with manuals on how to operate. All that's by design, it's not by accident.
If I war time, meditate tear up on my mind. Pants press boot off his shine. Man terrible in a war time. Dream team. Well, if I war then it is roll deep round 12 noon. Pull up then lock down street. Hit spot jump out at the 4-door Jeep. And we match black pants and boots pan feet. Then we reach for the back. Pull out the heat. Man I spray with the weapon and I listen them a teach. In a war time we no two trace like girl. We no take tough chat. Boot reach boy teeth. I'm a heart too cold. Man I know about mercy. Cops and marapon it them concrete. Hey, all I shot that boy me no skin teeth. If you know some me grim and me come here so fi reap blood reach to the regular. This color lead. Then the weapon the siren go come and set the pan repeat. Man a victory dance cause the boy them get the feed. Last man standing so the mission complete. You see a war time, a war. Meditate tear up on my mind. Pants press boot off his shine. Man terrible in a war time. Dream team in a war time. For war. Meditate tear up on my mind. Pants press boot off his shine. Man terrible in a war time. Dream team.
Warriors walk with the truth. You know see them and them come through. Only wisdom when them have is just a wisdom tooth. You forget the W, you just is dumb.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.
Yeah, so now, from there, let's deal with New Year's real quick, okay? When does the year start for the Most High God? Let's go to Deuteronomy 16, okay? Deuteronomy chapter 16, I just want verse 1.
Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 1. Observe the month of Abib.
Now write that down, Abib, A-B-I-B. Observe the month Abib.
And keep the Passover.
And keep the Passover, because why? Passover came in the month of Abib.
Unto the Lord thy God.
So now, was that in on verse 1?
No. For in the month of Abib, the Lord thy God brought thee forth out of Egypt by night.
So now, remember this, that in the month of Abib, we came out by night. It's talking about the Passover, okay? From there, let's go to Exodus 12. Now, when you get a Bible dictionary, okay, you can get the Zondervan's or any kind, look up the word Abib. It literally means ear of corn, which comes when? Spring. Okay, that's what it means, the spring season, okay?
From there, Exodus 12, we want verse 2.
Exodus chapter 12, verse 2.
Now remember the month of Bib. We came out of Egypt. We were to keep the Passover. Go ahead.
This month shall be unto you the beginning of months.
So now, we're discussing when God says the new year begins. Read it again.
This month shall be unto you the beginning of months.
This month shall be to you the beginning of months. Go ahead.
It shall be the first month of the year to you.
It shall be the first month of the year to you. Go ahead. What verse was that? 2?
That was 2.
Jump. Let's see what he's talking about. Jump down to verse 26. We want to establish what is God talking about. 26.
Verse 26. And it shall come to pass when your children shall say unto you, What mean ye by this service? That ye shall say, It is the sacrifice of the Lord's Passover.
It is the sacrifice of the Lord's Passover. So when the Passover begins, that's the beginning of the year to you. That's the month of Abib, the beginning of the year to you. Read it again.
And it shall come to pass when your children shall say unto you, What mean ye by this service? That ye shall say, It is the sacrifice of the Lord's Passover, who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Egypt, when he smote the Egyptians and delivered our houses. And this people bowed the head and worshiped.
You see that? So now, what is the Bible letting us know? That the month of Bib, which is the spring, that's when the first spring month, that's the beginning of the year. That's the same month where the Passover is commanded to be celebrated. Okay? Not the dead of winter, but spring in the month of Abib. Real quick. So where do we get that December stuff from? Let's go to Daniel 7. Okay, Daniel 7 and verse 25. Okay?
Daniel chapter 7, verse 25.
Listen good to this.
And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. And they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time.
Let's read it again.
And he shall speak great words against the Most High.
Who is the he here in Daniel 7:25? It's talking about the United States of America, the so-called white man. How does he speak great words against the Most High? Hold on. Give me Isaiah 14:13.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 13. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven.
For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. Go ahead.
I will exalt my throne above the stars of God.
Space travel. Go ahead.
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
I will enslave the Israelites in North America.
I will ascend above the heights of the clouds.
I will create airplanes too.
I will be like the Most High.
I will be like the Most High.
Verse 13. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
So Lucifer, the devil, white man, that's what it's talking about, would sit upon the mount of the congregation, which are the Israelites, in the sides of the north, meaning North America. Go back to Daniel.
And it calls him Lucifer in the 12th verse.
Right. Go back to Daniel now, that part again. And they shall do what to us? Daniel 7,
7 verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High.
Here it comes.
And shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
How has he worn us out? In slavery. You ever get a pair of sneakers, brand new sneakers, and you get the bottom of them, you can see the symbols under the bottom of the sneaker, the grid marks and all that, but you wear them for a while. You wear them and you wear them and you wear them. What happens to the grid marks under the sneakers? They get worn out. So worn out that what kind of sneaker was this that I was wearing? So now, he said it, the scripture said he would wear out the saints of the Most High, which are the Israelites. How did he wear us out? What does that mean? Meaning he wore us out in slavery so much that we don't know we Israelites no more. We've been worn out in slavery so harshly. We've forgotten who we are. We've forgotten our culture, our customs, our feast days. We've forgotten our nationality. We forgot our own woman. We forget our own kids. We have been worn out as a people. Understand that. Read it again.
And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws.
That's the part we wanted to get to also. And think to change times and laws. Let's deal with the times that this white man has changed. We just went through daylight savings time, correct? Where in the springtime is spring 1 hour forward, and in the fall they say spring the clock an hour back, okay? So they think to change times, okay? Understand that. Then it said and laws, okay? So now, what happened? God says when was the beginning of the year? In the month of Abib, which is the spring. The white man says, no, we're going to change that. It's no longer being a spring. This month of Bib stuff, let's get rid of that. Make it January 1st, in the dead of winter.
And called everybody who was still doing it in April's an April Fool. That's where the saying came from, to play tricks on people, because the people felt they were tricked because they were still bringing in the year in April.
Exactly. That's why at the beginning of the lesson, remember it said, Psalm 64, it said they do a diligent search. Okay, they search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search. They discovered all these paganist holidays and instituted those things into the United States of America. And by that, they wore us out with their lies. So all you so-called black men and black women, you got to wake up to the truth that you're the Israelites. You got to become born again. We got to honor the new year. When? In the springtime, and celebrate Passover. We got to stop keeping Christmas. We got to stop celebrating the New Year's Eve celebration, because all that's paganism, all that's of the devil. Understand that.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.
Judas chapter 5 verse 20. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in this people,
meaning any sin,
and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin.
This shall be their ruin. Go ahead.
And let us go up, and we shall overcome them.
That's why the white man keeps sin in the black and Latino community, because they know God will not fight for us. If they're breaking God's commandments, you got women's rights movements, if you got homosexuals with them, if you got, what are some other things? You got crackheads, alcoholics with them, child molesters, pedophiles. Come on.
But if there be
but, you running by the words. But, listen to what he says, this but now, go ahead.
But, if there be no iniquity in their nation,
meaning if they have repented unto their God and are keeping his commandments,
let my Lord now pass by.
You better leave them the hell alone, go ahead.
Lest their Lord defend them, and their God be for them, and we become a reproach before all the world.
Ye are the light of the world.
You are the light of the world. What else are you?
A city that is set on a hill.
You are a city that is to be set on a hill so that the people that are still in darkness can see. Like it says that you are the light that shineth in a dark place. We are the example that our people are supposed to be able to look at and say, those brothers and sisters, they got it right. Come on.
The book of Zephaniah, chapter 2 and verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
Let's play with that. Gather yourselves together. So as we pointed out, there's a lot of work that's involved in us just simply gathering together. A lot of personal things got to get pushed to the side, and that takes work. Your own desires and temptations, those things got to get pushed to the side. Gather yourselves together. That's verbiage. That's action. There's a lot of work involved in that. Then it says what? Yea, gather together, O nation not desired. Meaning that the Lord is going to put more emphasis on the need for us to do what we are resistant to do.